It's the best place in the world. And yet, I didn't quite plan for retirement as I should have. So can I sell my $1 million house in San Luis Obispo, buy a $700,000 house in Paso Robles, and I don't have to leave the community? And yet, I just created $300,000 worth of wealth immediately to supplement my retirement, and I get to have that boat.
And you brought your tax basis with you.
A lot of national and regional headlines have focused on the California exit strategy. But in the most populous state in the nation, there are lots of places people can escape to that aren't the metropolitan hubs that are plagued with the problems associated with overpopulation. The Central Coast seems to be one of them. In this episode of the SLO County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Sweasey, the team highlights all the tax benefits that Prop 19 provides when relocating in state, and provides some eye-opening scenarios as to why real estate ownership is likely your best investment and nest egg for retirement. Prop 19, it might just keep you in the Golden State. Here's your host, James Bueno.
We are back with the team here with the SLO County Real Estate with Mr. Hal Sweasey. Hal Sweasey, how are you, sir?
James, wonderful. Thank you.
JT, how are you?
Hey, perfect.
Mr. Pete?
I'm great, man.
How are you?
Great.
And Mr. Kingman?
Excellent as well.
Well, all right. I'm super excited to be here. And I just thought of a new game. As we're having this crazy conversation before the podcast started, I think we should have a prize of some sort. If somebody could think of a song that Jeff doesn't know, would that be possible?
I don't know a lot of.
Perfect.
Somebody will win.
Well,
so far, nobody has.
Game. Yeah,
that's why it's a game. We got to find out what song that you are not familiar with, that maybe you don't know.
So a year ago or so, Jay brought up, what was the song the Crystal Ball song? Sticks. I'd never heard that song before.
What?
That's like album track to me.
That is an epic song.
I know. You brought it up as if it was a reference that everybody would get. And I work at a classic rock radio station.
Well, yeah.
And I have no idea.
That's the point here, everybody. So Jeff Kingman, he obviously works at a radio station. So I think if we can get you, we should earn a prize.
What, you want, like concert tickets or something for me?
Well, now I do, yes. Absolutely, yeah.
I love this game.
That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking like $5 or something. But yeah.
He gave it away too soon.
Yeah, he did. Actually, you have gotten me concert tickets, so I know that you have access to that.
Worst mistake I ever made.
Yes. All right.
You're still socially paying for that one.
Yeah. It's a great idea. Thanks for reminding me. All right. Sorry, Hal. We have a pretty important topic today, so let's go ahead and get rolling.
Well, the music was age-related, right? Jeff, can I ask on the
it's got to be classic.
How old are you?
I am 48.
Okay. And Jay, you're how old?
I'll be 53 this month.
I can't believe you didn't know that Styx song.
No, it's
all right.
I guess that was the 5-year gap.
That's the famous 5-year gap we all hear about. Now that we're
79 to 84, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I got lost in.
Yeah, I thought it was 50 to 60 age. Yeah, okay.
Well, then maybe the game has a newer age.
Yeah. All right. There's math involved again.
There you go.
Math.
So this is an age. One of the things about this. So we're going to talk about the proposition in the past. It's a law now. Okay, Proposition 19.
Right.
We'd have a lot of people who've lived in their homes a long time, and they've had a lot of appreciation. So the great thing about Prop 19, which replaced another proposition, is it allows people to transfer their tax base based on being a certain age, so 55 and older, which is a senior. So I'm so glad to be a senior. Or if you're severely disabled, both of those groups are allowed to transfer your tax base. Why does this make a difference? Well, I would see before people would wait till they're 55 to sell their home because they have such a low property tax and it's fixed that they want to make the jump up if they buy a more expensive home. And let's say in San Luis Obispo 20 years ago, in the 90s, even 30 years ago, let's say, it was a $200,000 house. That could easily be worth $1 million today.
Yeah, easily.
And your taxes went from $2,000 and slowly came up, so now they're probably $3,000. Under normal circumstances, if you don't have Prop 19, you go buy a house for $1 million, now you're at $10,000 a year. Big difference for a lot of people.
It's almost $1,000 a month extra if you've got impounds.
Previously, you could just sell that house and go buy something less expensive, and one time you can move your tax base.
Just in San Luis County.
Yeah, just within. There were a couple of counties I think you could transfer.
A couple that had reciprocal agreements,
but
not
many of them didn't.
Most counties didn't want to say, "Sure, come on in here and bring your cheap property taxes, and we'll lose money on you." Right? So that's so this Prop 19. The nice thing is it made it statewide. So the changes now are one, you can do it 3 times. 2, you can move anywhere you want in the state.
Yeah.
So you have a lot more portability. So let's say you live here, but you have family in a more expensive area, in the San Francisco area or the Los Angeles, whatever, there's more expensive. And you have $1 million house here, but you want to buy a house, and your new town is $1.1 million, and you can afford it, but you don't want to go to $11,000 a year in taxes. So now they'll let you just adjust based on the change of what you sell for versus what you buy for. So if I go for the example, I just sold my house for $1 million. I'm not going to go up to $10,000 or $11,000 a year. I get to keep it. But because I went up $100,000, my taxes is now my $3,000 a year plus the difference between $1 million and $1.1 million. That's $100,000. So like $1,000 a year. So just a smaller impact.
So you're going to pay $4,000 instead of $11,000.
Exactly.
Huge advantage.
Yeah.
Great deal.
Yeah.
Put me in,
year,
Coach.
Year after year, right? So John, you were asking before, and you came up with the answer. So as people get older, they need to downsize, they want to take advantage of their equity. What would you say from your perspective, Jay or John, is the meaning of this for a homeowner?
Well, we saw a huge swell of it. It was one of the 3 prongs that really aided in San Luis County's values, was that people were living in an area where they had a lot more mobility. They could put a big chunk of money in the bank if they're moving from the LA area, San Francisco area, where they've got, they bought a house for $300,000, the loans paid off. It's now worth $3 million. They can come down here, pay cash, and that's why we saw properties on the market for $1 million were being sold for $1.3 million, because someone had this incredible amount of capital coming out of another area. They're bringing their tax basis with them, and then on top of all that, they end up with $1.5 million in the bank that they can live on. And what a quality of life that provides, much different. So that's
financially,
one of the things that we saw that affected our values, I think, here over the past couple of years.
Well, I think the real benefit is the second part of what you said, based on my prior life. And my prior life was in the financial services business. And I would tell you that people didn't plan for retirement as well as they, I'm not going to say should, but as they could have. And so what it allows one to do is sell their house, buy down, and take the difference and use it to supplement their retirement. I don't know how many people I know that have done that, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard it said, and I think it's pretty true, for a lot of people, their home is their most valuable financial asset. And it becomes a part of their it's a home, but it becomes part of their financial future.
Yeah, I have some friends that sold their house for $2.2 million, bought a house for $800,000, and guess what it did to their retirement?
Wow, made it a lot nicer.
It meant a boat and fishing, and vacations and all the things they dreamt about, but didn't really plan well enough, and it got them there.
And I've seen it where it makes a difference between having to keep working all the time versus
Being
actually
a Walmart
retiring.
greeter.
Actually retiring. Having some options. For the most part, there's a good portion you get that is tax free on your residence.
Yeah, when you sell, you get if you're married, it's $250,000 per person.
Yeah.
So if you're married, that's $500,000 you get to put in your pocket tax free on your primary residence.
If you're married to 2 people, do you get 250 times 3?
Sister wives, you get
You're
7.
going to jail.
Double.
Yeah.
750,000.
The wrong state.
Okay, wrong
state,
state. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean that makes a big deal, because if I'm going to get $300,000-$500,000 for retirement, if I have to sell something, tap into an IRA, I have to earn it. Boy, you don't end up with $500,000. You're going to $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 to get to $500,000. So it's a pretty good vehicle for folks to take advantage of that, free up some cash, and change their lifestyle. But more importantly, maybe move to where they want to move. Because I can't tell you over the last 30 years how many people put off moving because of that low taxes.
Well, and we live in a community where how many of us really want to move?
I don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
It's the best place in the world. We've talked about that many times on our podcast. It's the best place in the world. And yet I didn't quite plan for retirement as I should have. So can I sell my $1 million house in San Luis Obispo, buy a $700,000 house in Paso Robles, and I don't have to leave the community? And yet I just created $300,000 worth of wealth immediately to supplement my retirement, and I get to have that boat.
And you brought your tax basis with you.
Yeah.
So if you make a great wage in this county, averages what, 70 or 80, maybe, I don't know.
I think the average median household income's like 78, floating in that 70s.
How much do you have to earn and then save to accumulate $300,000 that you just get?
Depends on how soon you start.
Right? No, but I mean, even at that, I mean, if you're living on that money. So at the end of the day, freeing up that money in that fashion for you is a big, big financial boon that could take years to accumulate otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So good for those folks. But yeah, a lot of people, we get people calling us about that a lot lately. And so anyway, just that Prop 19 makes a big difference for people.
So let everybody know. So let's say you have a house here in SLO, somewhere downtown. It's a 1.5.
Yep.
I want to move to Arizona.
Yep.
I sell it. I'm going to buy a $700,000 house there. Mm-hmm. So how much am I paying in taxes? What's going to happen?
Well, the tax question's varied. So if let's say you said $1.5 million, and you paid $500,000 or $600,000 for it, and you can show you put a $300 or $400 to remodel it or whatever that is. So you got $1 million into it. So you're going to get $500,000 tax free. But you go buy $700,000, you've saved in your housing costs somewhere. That gap is what, $800,000, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, property taxes in Arizona, I don't know what they are. Let's say you owe $500 on that house. You paid $500, you put no money down. You paid cash for your improvements. You got $1 million into it. So you come out with $1 million. Now you go pay cash $700,000 in Arizona. You've paid off your $500,000 debt. And so what does that leave you? $300 in cash?
$300 in cash.
$300 in cash with no debt versus $500,000 mortgage every month at today, at 3%. I don't know what that's going to be. $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
$2,500.
As we think back to Prop 19, which is where this conversation started.
Right.
Prop 19 is within the confines of California only. Doesn't extend to Arizona.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So what's going to happen? So if I go to Arizona,
You're going to pay whatever the appropriate real estate tax is on a $700,000.
So
Right.
then was this designed to keep people in California?
Came off Prop 13, where, again, we promote real estate, right? Mm-hmm. So in the early 70s, you might have paid $25,000 for a house, and the next thing you know, a few years later, it might be $50,000 or $60,000, which seems like nothing now. But your taxes have doubled, and it would just go up every year regardless. And it was, they passed that law, and John would know a little bit more because we're about the same age, but he's smarter. And it was really to keep people from being able to stay in their house, because if they couldn't keep up with the rate of increase in values of homes with the matching tax rate.
Okay.
Is there any benefits to this Prop 19? Maybe this is a question for Jay. I'm not sure. To families, can you pass property from one generation to the next and still kind of be able to use Prop 19 to help you on the real estate tax?
There is an intergenerational transfer exclusion from parent to child.
Okay. Okay. So what is you just messed up my vocabulary test. I don't understand.
Intergenerational. And it's so a parent to child.
Inherited.
Yeah. So if I have my tax basis is on a property for $500,000, and now the house is worth $1 million. I can transfer the property to my child, my son, and he can take over my property. He can buy my property and hang on to my tax basis. There's criteria around it. It has to be done within a year of the transfer. He has up to 3 years to actually make it go through. The details on it are I don't have.
They're outside of our expertise. This is new. Right?
Yeah. This is brand new. Yeah.
This part of it is new. And actually, it's not probably as favorable to families with highly appreciated assets, where you used to be able to just, hey, my kids are going to take it over, that goes in their name, and they get to keep that tax base. Yeah. Now it's way more limited. You can't keep it as a rental and keep low taxes.
Yeah, so it has to be their primary residence.
It has to be the primary.
Or it can be like a working farm. I think the verbiage is actually specific. It says their home or family farm.
And boy, those farms, like in the inland valleys here, those are big farms with a lot of money, and there's not a lot of kids growing up that want to do the same thing that folks did in terms of farming. So that is, I mean, I talked to an estate attorney here recently, and that is a big deal that people don't realize, the cost that comes when that thing gets reassessed upon someone's demise versus, one of the children, direct descendant, moving in, doing all the appropriate things. And again, we're not going to talk about specifics here because it's so new, but it does affect you. So if you're, a family inheriting a property, you'll want to call that assessor's office right away and get that sorted out, or a good estate attorney.
I've heard you talk with clients, and you come right up to the accounting line. You come right up to the legal line, and real estate agents aren't accountants, CPAs, or lawyers. So it's a fine line where you've got to make sure that you're giving great advice to your clients. And the best advice usually is go see your lawyer or your CPA, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the one thing we can do is tell them which questions to ask.
Yeah, right.
Right? And that's the one thing. It's like I can't give medical advice, but I'd say go get your blood pressure tested or whatever,
All this
Ask
too is,
about that, yeah.
is done by the assessor, the county assessor's office.
Yeah.
And it's not automatic. Like if you move and relocate, you don't automatically get that exclusion. You have to apply for it. That's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a window of time.
So how Jay, getting to you, Hal, so if you're going to go to a listing appointment, is this something that you discuss, with your clients? And Jay, that second part, is it common for a lot of the agents, talking about taxes? So what do you do?
It's not so much taxes, but again, because we have low turnover here in terms of housing, and people don't move that often, and they've got low interest rates, free and clear houses, low taxes. They love it here. I mean, I always designate a great neighborhood when you don't see homes come up for sale until someone passes away or moves to a retirement home. That's always a sign of a good neighborhood, low turnover, right? So what happens is a family member will come in and go, okay, mom or dad's passed away. We've got the house. Now what do we do? I always tell them, consult with your tax advisor, see if this property qualifies for that. Because if it does, and you don't want to keep it in the family, or two siblings can't agree on what to do with the house, there's a big difference on having proper tax planning and estate planning. So I just tell them you should consult with them before you make this decision on whether or not to sell your house, keep it, rent it, inherit it, whatever it is, because those have major impacts financially. And that's the advice I can give them.
I know one of the things that you talk about right up front is, their motivation for selling.
Right.
And so my guess is within their motivation for selling, you're uncovering these things to where you can point them in the right direction.
Yeah, we have that conversation. Should I wait? Should I start right away? Should I keep the house? Should I rent the house? What's better? And I just give them the options from what I've seen. And after doing this a long time, you just learn what some of the potential options would be that they should look into and see what the best fit for them is. Yeah, so we can give them kind of a little bit of direction, but the other real answers come with the professionals and the tax and the law degrees.
Yeah, I liken your business, Hal, to not a race car, a Tour de France.
Be careful what you say here.
A Tour de France team.
Jalopy? Oh.
No, a Tour de France team. Like you've got a team of 5-6 guys that are all going in the same direction. They're all at the relatively same speed, and they're helping each other win. But only one guy is going to cross the finish line. You've got CPAs at your disposal. You've got attorneys. You've got contractors. You've got photographers. You've got people that are on your team, and you're running a marathon bike race through life. But you've got all these people around you, and I think that's kind of a great thing for individuals to know that you're working with someone like Hal. You've got the opportunity to not only have Hal, but have the experience of all the professionals he's been associated with over all these years. You've been running the Tour de France for how many years?
Here's a good
20 years.
I don't know how to change a tire, and if it did, Dakota can do it in like 2 seconds, and it'd take me 2 days, right? So I'd lose without the tire changer. Yeah, that's for sure.
See, absolutely, that's a fact.
So, Hal, you're a great resource. And you're also not too proud. If you don't have the answer, you can tell them where to go, right?
Oh, most of the time I don't have any answers. Yeah. So,
yeah. All right.
And
JT?
there's been plenty of times when he's told me where to go.
Yeah, I'm waiting for contact time.
And what lane to be in.
I got your answer right here, John.
On that note, all right. Anybody have any final thoughts for today's episode? No.
I mean,
what?
yeah,
Go ahead.
call us. I mean, it's so nice to get a lot more people call us now because of this podcast. It opens up questions in people's mind and opens up doors that they didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for.
And FYI, just for people listening out there, Hal will talk to you. You can call the office and get Hal Sweasey. He does pick up his phone, so don't be shy. All right, gentlemen, anything else?
The median household income in San Luis County is $82,000. It has gone up since I looked at it.
$82,000.
A little over $82,000.
All right.
That's $41,000 per household member. They're assuming 2 people live in a household. Two people, median household income, $82,000.
Wow.
Crazy, huh? Okay. All right, that's it. Final thought.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have a classic rock song that they want to shoot at Jeff here real quick? Going once, going twice?
Do ya?
Do ya?
Do ya?
Isn't that?
Is that it? That's the name of the song?
Do ya?
You stumped.
Do ya?
Do you?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Pussycat Dolls?
That sounds like an 80s hip hop song. You got to sing a little bit of it.
John Turner, you can't say
Let's not. Let's not get JT singing.
That's what
Electric Light
That's the
Orchestra.
stuff that we
ELO.
need. That's the gold that we need.
ELO.
The Move.
No, I would.
Boo.
Yeah, it's the move. Yeah.
Okay,
See,
I'm gonna get an easier
That's
one.
deeper than
I got
crystal ball.
too much time on my hands.
Sticks.
Bing.
There you go. Redemption.
I had to sing
I
it
was
in my
hoping
head.
he'd
You see, whenever somebody asks you to sing a song, JT, always sing it just to yourself in your head. Because now we have audio of you singing "Do Ya."
You're so lucky. And I did it for free.
Electric Light Orchestra. Do you want my life? Isn't that one?
and now we got Hal Sweasey singing. Keep it up, everybody.
bad.
Keep it up.
Move did the song, and I think the Move later became the Electric Light Orchestra.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's
Trick question, Swayze.
So we need to be the Move, and we're going to move on. And thank you, everybody. Appreciate it, everybody that that listened to us. Sorry, we're having too much fun today. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to the Hal Sweasey podcast. Be sure to subscribe and rate this podcast. It comes out every Monday, so check for it in your feed for the latest information on the San Luis Obispo County market. The SLO County Real Estate with Hal Sweasey podcast is available wherever you get your podcast and on halsweasey.com, where you can find current listings and other real estate tips. halsweasey.com, that's HALSWEASEY.com. I am James Bueno, Director of Marketing for the Hal Sweasey Group. If you're looking for anything real estate, give us a call, 805-781-3750.
Hal Sweasey is a licensed California real estate broker. DRE number 01111-911. The SLO County Real Estate with Hal Sweasey podcast is a production of AGM Podcasts. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.